Okay, let's talk about the details. So you've got these nasty teeth right here. You can see that. And then eyes, man, they look so eerie. And he's also have some gills on the side, maybe for breathing. It's kind of wild. And from the top, you can actually see that solid skull structure. It just makes the whole thing look even more brutal. There is also veins and crack on his skull. Alright, let's take another look because this part is wild. There is a big evil eye on his shoulder. It looks so creepy and alive at the same time, but honestly, there's a big Resident Evil vibe right there. Weird, disturbing, and somehow super cool. And on its back, muscle tendon is everywhere. It's kind of rape. I just realized there are eyes on its arms too. You can see the eyes in here, here, and near the elbow. And if I'm not mistaken, those eyes are actually its weak points. Something Leon can totally take advantage of. So yeah, creepy design, but also built-in target system. Classic Resident Evil logic, man. Love the colors. Honestly, it blends so nicely with the skin. Like it was meant to be there. Super clean and satisfying to look at. The color combo just works, man. Even with some of the skin looking peeled off, it still somehow looks natural, creepy, but in a real cool, satisfying way. The lines, shading, and effects all come together perfectly, like everything just clicks. Super smooth, super satisfying. And you can totally tell some of the skin already gone. Those bones on his hand just pop out like, hey, look at me. Super terrifying, but also kinda awesome at the same time. The black lining all over his body really makes the details hit harder, looks even more powerful and super clean. There are lines everywhere, and that's exactly why this figure looks insanely detailed, like max level detail for real. Alright, let's move on to those big front legs. Just look at the massive claw. Feel it's like a totally poisonous, right? And man, this thing is huge. Like, even bigger than Bigfoot. It's super thick and sturdy. And you can also see the part of his legs is also thick, full of muscle tendon. This guy mean business. And another thing about the claw, totally give off wild animal vibes, like something straight out of the Beast Mode nightmare. It's huge, savage, and honestly, kind of freaky in the best way. The coolest part, it looks so unnatural, like it wasn't even meant to exist. Make it feel way more dangerous. Okay, let's talk about the leg. If you look closer, there is another eye on his other leg. And about the leg size, what funny is, it weighs smaller, and the shape kinda look like a human leg too. So it's a super weird combo, but that just make even creepier and cooler at the same time. And if you check out his heel, boom, you'll spot the Capcom logo right there. Clean, nicely painted, no weird stuff. So yeah, you already know this figure is the real deal. It's legit and original, no doubt. Another interesting part, on the other leg, the skin is already peeled off. No idea what happened here, but it looks brutal, like something went very wrong. Creepy, messy, and honestly, make the whole design even more hardcore. You can really see the crazy contrast here. One side looks like the skin already peeled off and somehow grew a new layer, while the other side looked like it just got peeled, like fresh and nasty. I gotta admit, William was never been this scary. It's more like everything about him is just straight up intimidating. Like bro, the size, the mutation is totally nightmare. It worse than nightmare. Okay, let's talk about the teeth. So yeah, William got that weird combo like normal teeth, but then a bunch of fangs out of nowhere. And man, those fangs, low key beautiful but also terrifying at the same time. Like, why does it look like kinda cool but also scream you are about to be eaten? Honestly, it's really give that deep sea creature vibe. You know, those nightmare fish in the dark ocean with glowing teeth. Yeah, same energy. Look mesmerizing, but 100% deadly. In the end, the real star of the show is his mouth. Like, that's the main attraction right there. You cannot not look at it. The detailing absolutely makes out. No chill at all. Everything from the teeth, the gums, the texture, it's crazy clean. Super game accurate too. Like they'll literally pull it straight out of the game and say, yeah, make it real. It's disgusting, but in a wow, this is insanely cool kind of way. So the conclusion is there are a few things that instantly steal the spotlight. First, those muscle tendon all over his body. Bro looks like he skipped skin day entirely. Second, the eyes. Classic Resident Evil style. You already know. If it has weird eyes, it's gonna be a problem. Third, those black lines running everywhere. They just boost the detail like crazy. Makes everything look even more intense. And lastly, the ultimate weapon, those gigantic teeth. What a sweet and terrifying way to close it out. So I think that's enough for the details. Let's continue for the articulation and the joint. Alright, let's start from the feet. So yeah, you can move them up and down, which is nice, but don't expect crazy flexibility here. The range is kinda limited like it moves, but it's not doing yoga poses anytime soon. Still, it gets the jobs done for basic posing, especially if you just want to him to stand solid and look intimidating. Alright, let's zoom a bit. You can see there is a joint right here, which means, yep, you can move it, but this joint is tight. So yeah, don't force it. We don't want any tragic accident on day one. Just soak it into some warm water for a bit. That's the cleanest and safest way to loosen up. After that, it should move way smoother. The joint itself actually blends so well with the rest of the parts. Like sometimes you'll be staring at it thinking, wait, where's the joint again? It honestly takes a second to even spot it. But that's what makes it so awesome. It looks super natural, almost like it's not even there. Clean design, clean finish. Alright, moving to the right leg. The feet here pretty much have the same movement as the left one. But if you take a look of this joint here, this one feels way smoother. You can move it to the side, swing it to the front, or even push it a bit to the back. Way more flexible and satisfying to pose, honestly. So yeah, same function, but better experience. This one definitely the nicer leg to play around with. See? Man, they did an amazing job hiding those joints. Like seriously, it's more like a statue than an action figure. The assembly is so clean and neat, you could easily deceive people into thinking this thing doesn't even move. But we know this is a really masterpiece. So okay, let's continue. Alright, now for the other leg. So this one can move forward and backward, which is nice. But yeah, the range is kinda limited. So don't expecting anything too wild here. The good news, the joint is not as tight as the others. So at least it's way easier to move around. So yeah, not the most flexible, but definitely more chill to handle. Alright, one last thing about this beast joint, and this one, kinda special, kinda different. We are talking about his upper body joint. So this one actually pretty loose. Kinda surprising, right? You can turn it left and right almost freely, like it just glides. You can also move it up and down, but yeah, the range is still a little bit limited. Not crazy flexible, but enough to give it some life. So overall, smooth movement, easy to handle. Just don't expect a full acrobat mode. So quick tips guys. You might not want to play around with this one too much. It's already pretty loose as it is. So yeah, take it easy, treat it gently, don't go full WWE on it. We're preserving greatness here, not testing durability. Slow and steady, and that's the way. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about this tiny little arm he's got. So you can actually move it up and down. There is a tiny little joint right there. Small detail, but hey, it still adds a bit of playability. And not just that, this little guy even has a joint on his elbow. You can move it out too. It's a simple motion, but trust me, it makes a big difference when you are trying to get those cool poses going. Small movement, big impact. And the excitement doesn't stop there. This tiny arm has another joint, making the movement even more flexible. Pretty crazy for something that small, right? But hey, take it easy with this one. The joint is kinda tight, so you don't want forces too much. Smooth moves only, guys. So this is the joint I've been talking about. With this, you can move it up and down and also swim the arm back and forward. Pretty simple, but super useful when you are trying to get that perfect pose. Small joint, big vibes. It's crazy how this little joint can make such a big difference. It's small, but it totally level up the post game. Alright, let's talk about the other arm. Of course, it's got all the same features as the previous one, but this one a bit more chill. The joints here are slightly looser, so it's way easier to play around with in pose. No need to fight it, just smooth and easy movement all the way. For a vintage toy that dropped back in 2002, the joints and the paint are seriously impressive, like way ahead of its time. No wonder this figure is considered as a holy grail, especially for the die-hard Resident Evil fans. It's not just nostalgia, it actually deserves the hype. And again, you can see how easy it is to play around with this joint. The best part, they are not too loose, so you can still hit a bunch of cool poses without putting it too much effort. It's that sweet spot. Just don't go overboard though. Too loose is never a good thing either. Gotta keep it balanced, guys. Alright, guys, that's it for the William Birkin G4 figure review. What an absolute beast! Insane details, solid joints, and still feels like a masterpiece, even after all these years. And of course, happy 30th anniversary to all Resident Evil fans out there. What a legendary journey it's been. And guys, if you enjoyed this review, don't forget to smash that like button, drop your thoughts in the comment, and subscribe for more awesome figure review coming your way. Thank you so much for all the support. It really means a lot. And as always, stay safe, keep collecting, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys, and thank you.
Door clicks open, here comes the end of days. Biohazard in my